Hello there. Today I got in from Entertainment Earth 2 more of the Boba Fett, new Boba Fett action figure, and I did it in hopes of getting the corrected version with the LED light section on his chest armor, and luckily I did. So the news here is that if you're ordering these online now from an online source, there's a good chance that you are going to get the corrected version. Now, if you don't have the means, you don't want to buy the new one, you have the original one that came out, that's fine. If you look at me looking here, can you tell which one's the corrected and which one isn't? From a distance, you really can't tell. You have to bring them up. And you can tell it's this guy here. And so, it's still, even this one, like I said in my previous review, it's a great figure. They just really did a great job with it. But at the same time, I am glad that Hasbro went back and made this more screen accurate. Just because in my way of collecting here is I like to have the most accurate, best, the best version of each character that I display, and this Boba Fett here is far superior to ones in the past, even though they're still not, you can't articulate the rangefinder. That is the tiniest of gripes with me. I'm not worried about it at all. I think honestly overall the helmet looks a lot better than the VOTC version, which they've released a couple of times, and I think it's just a fantastic figure overall. And having these two tiny little divots in his armor just makes him a little more accurate. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop displaying this guy. I'm going to put him in my Power of the Force 2 Slave 1 because he'll look really good in there. And I will keep, just because I keep as a Boba Fett theming in my vintage collection Slave 1, I keep one of these Boba Fetts in there, and I'm fine with that because he's also still a great looking figure. This is the best version of an Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett that we have, and he's fantastic. Excellent figure, and we've looked at him before. Now, if you're worried for a carded collector, there's literally no difference in these cards. The card here, this is the corrected version. You can see here, same characters on the back, still VC186. And here is the original one that I showed you, just real quick. Only thing is now, the only change is now I will probably keep this guy in the card because the corrected version, there's going to be more of them. And it's not like I'm ever going to sell any of these things. I just, there's literally nothing in my collection that if any single piece, if I sold it, would put my kids through college or anything like that. It's not why I collect. I do it because I like it, and it's just like having this stuff. I don't think of future resale value for anything. If that's what you do it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's not me. It's not what I do. That's just it. But I might keep it carded just because, it looks good that way. I probably might keep both of them. I haven't decided where I'm going to put this guy yet. I just ended up getting 2. I was kind of playing the odds that maybe I wouldn't get a corrected version, but I'm glad I did because, like I said, this guy's going in my Jabba's Palace display that you can see in my room tour, and he'll look just as good as this guy did. And that's pretty much it for this. Now, one thing I was kind of curious about, and I ended up going back and doing some research, and I was wondering, one thing, it actually kind of looking at this guy, I was like, have they ever done a Boba Fett in the 3.75 inch line that didn't have the markings on here. Or is this guy unique? Well, let me get some of my other figures out and put them up here, and we'll go through it. Okay, so here are a lot of the Boba and Jango Fett that I have displayed in my collection in the room. I didn't feel like going and digging through my loose figure container that I have because it's in the closet where like all my props and stuff and the sideshow stuff is, and it's underneath a lot of boxes. There's just kind of a hassle. I didn't want to go through that, but I did look online, and like Power of the Force 2, all the versions of Boba Fett I saw did have the mark on the that had the LEDs on the chest plate. Now I'm going to go through these. These are all basically the same sculpt. So you have this Boba Fett this is from the actually this is the recent release from the vintage collection. But it's basically the same sculpt as the Fett Evolution set. And so yeah, I don't think there's any change other than some, paint app changes on it. So, but he has one, which also means, these ones that are based off of that, just repainted, maybe some minor changes, but this concept mail away Boba Fett has it. Jodo Cast does, so those are good. And even looking at this is the Fett Evolutions Jango Fett, and it's on his. So I mean, you got to think it's basically the same It's the same armor. It's just that Boba Fett, after Jango was killed, he went and did it. Went and just repainted his father's armor, and so every version of Boba Fett. Even to include, hold on, I actually forgot to grab him, but he's right here. I moved him off my carbon freezing set display and replaced him. But if you look, this is the 300th Boba Fett. Fantastic figure, even if he is slightly pre-posed. I've always liked him. It is a great Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, even though he's in an action pose. But so it's on this as well. I'll put him over there. Now, then we can go. So every modern figure that I could find of Boba Fett, whether I pulled it out of my collection or I looked up pictures online. Anyway, unless I missed one, I don't think I did. They all have, this on the chest armor. I even went back, dug into the vintage. Okay, I know it's not his weapon, but when I was a kid, I swapped it out. It was just, I thought it was cool to give him a better rifle than a Stormtrooper rifle. But if you look, this is the Boba Fett I got as a kid. This was a mail-away figure, actually, so it was the first mail-away figure they ever did. And, so I cut out my proof of purchases and mailed them in. And about 6-8 weeks later, this guy comes in the mail. I'll show you. You can see it. Let me flip them over so There's my 1979. This was my mail-away Boba Fett. And if you notice, look at that right there. So even all the way back to the very first Boba Fett, they've had the LED markings for his armor. So I honestly think this guy's pretty unique. So it's kind of neat to have one in the collection that does not have the markings, the indentations for the LED lights on his armor. So that is kind of cool. And I think it just, I don't know if it makes him more special or not, but I'm glad I've got one like that. Not that I think it's going to be that rare. I mean, a lot of people got this because they pre-ordered like I did, so it's just something to think about. It's kind of cool that they have that. And that's pretty much it I wanted to talk about today. Now do your part. Right over here, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, I'd like to have you in the group and help grow the channel. Leave a like if you want. If you like this video, if you like my content, leave a comment. I'd like feedback. Do you have this one? Are you going to try to get the corrected version? You know, is there a Boba Fett that I missed that does not have, besides this guy, that doesn't have the markings on the armor? I'd be curious if I miss one. I mean, it's totally possible. I'm, just as human as the next guy. But that's pretty much it for now. Again, thanks for watching, and this is the way.
Remember, the Force will be with you always. The Force will be with you.